This is the plaintiff, Philip Romanzi. He says he's an accountant, and he's done the defendant's taxes for the last 18 years. Then, out of the clear blue sky, the guy tells him he's going to someone else. Well, he can't stop them from doing that, but the defendants need to pay him what they owe him, and aren't. They've always nickel and dimed him to death, but the buck stops here in this court because he's suing the cheapskates for the $600 he still owes. These are the defendants, Elizabeth and Gary Ferrandino. Gary says the plaintiff moved out of state a few years ago, and his service got really bad. On top of that, he kept raising his rates, but did less and less work. So they decided to go elsewhere, to another accountant who charges them a fraction of what the plaintiff used to charge. Bottom line, they don't owe this man any more money than they've already paid him, and that's that. They're accused of refusing an accountant's accounting.
Philip Romanzi?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
are suing Elizabeth Ferrandino, Gary Ferrandino, and Ferrandino Incorporated for $600 in a balance that is due for accounting services, which you feel you should not have to pay because the fee was exorbitant. All right, you tell me what's going on.
Okay, I've been doing his taxes and his corporations for a number of years, never complained about the price, and I actually lowered them the last year because what had happened was he had, I saw the business was going downhill, but still I got to make a certain amount of money in order to cover my costs. So I lowered it down, and there wasn't less work. I did his income taxes, I did all the spreadsheets, I did all the
This is for the
bank
taxes in
recs.
2010.
Yes, this is
How
for
much was the
2010.
bill? It's your joint personal taxes?
Yes, correct.
As well as one corporation?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, taxes. And how much were you charging?
I charge him $235 for his personal taxes and $2,200 for the corporation.
How long have you been an accountant?
Since 1972.
Okay. All right. And you were their accountant for how many years? 8?
Well, not his personal taxes I did for about, I'd say about 18 years, give or take a year or two. And then when he went into business in 2006, he actually had 2 corporations, and I was doing both of them.
Okay. All right. So what's the problem? Why won't you pay your accountant
Okay,
the remaining
well-
$600 balance of your bill?
What happened was Phil's service just started getting so bad.
How?
Well, what happened was I've been using Phil since probably like 1996, 97. Then my corporation wasn't started until about 2004, 2005.
What kind of business were you in?
It was a cleaning service.
Okay.
And what happened was everything was it got to the point where everything was a last minute phone call. Extensions were guaranteed every year, and we went right to the last day. We get phone calls the day before. Gary, I need you to fax this. I need to do this, make a copy of that. And I would say, Phil, why wouldn't you call me like a week ahead of time at least? So it got to that point. It got so bad. I do have also some letters from other clients that Phil had that no longer use his services. And then what broke the camel's back, Your Honor, was he lost my daughter's taxes in 2010. And I called him, I said,
What do
Phil,
you mean he lost your taxes?
the taxes were lost in the mail. He sent them U.S.
You
mail.
mean the returns?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
were lost. They never got to the IRS or to you
never
guys?
got to us to
you
sign
guys?
them because he had moved out of state, Phil. So that's when the services really started getting bad because he was in another state. And
Well, when you say they got lost in the mail, what'd you do about it?
I called Phil and I said, first I asked him, Phil, did you do my daughter's taxes? He goes, oh, I sent them out a month ago. I said, a month ago? We never even got them. That's when we determined that they were lost
I'm
in
sorry.
the mail.
What did you end up doing, though? Did you say fax them again, send them, email them,
Phil
whatever? So
said that
there was
he
no harm, no foul, right? Like your daughter got her
Well, just
taxes.
as far as everything was lost and who knows where they are and all your personal information.
lost in the U.S. mail.
U.S. mail, they were lost.
Okay, but he is not responsible for the U.S. mail.
No, I understand
Right.
that. I'm just
But
saying.
he had to recreate the whole process, and had we not
Process
called
again.
him to ask him if he had
What do
done
you mean
them, we wouldn't
recreate
even
the
know.
whole process? You just print it back out, right? Because you do it
I
digitally.
printed it back out.
Right.
I had copies of their W-2 forms, which I kept,
Right.
and I gave it to him.
But okay, but why are you not paying his bill? Because you feel like he was very last minute? How does that give you a right not to pay
I'm not paying his
it?
bill because of his services just got so bad towards the end, and I paid him all the time since I've had him, since 1997. And I said, Phil, I mean,
You're supposed to. I mean,
No, yeah, absolutely.
What did he do wrong? Like, other than last minute, and
his
extensions.
services just deteriorated. The taxes.
I know, but you don't get to rewrite what the bill is because here's what you get to do. Here's what other people would do in your position. We're not going to use you anymore. And then you move on. And I can't help but notice that you mentioned,
Right.
now the accountant you're using charges you how much?
Way
less.
Way less.
Way less.
And it's
so
done
what's
already. It's in
really
my
happening? Let me
bank.
tell you what's really happening is buyer's remorse. You feel like, we paid them all. This is the exact phrase you just used. We paid them all that money all this time. I think we're even. Enough already. No, you should shop around, find an accountant whose services you're happy with, the price you're happy with, and if you didn't, then you didn't. And so if you don't want to use him anymore because you think he's too last minute or you don't like extensions, then don't use him. But how do you figure that I'm going to allow you to cheat him $600 because you wish you hadn't hired him for 18 years?
Well, what I had to do is I had to dissolve the corporation with my new accountant. He said he had me taking out sales tax, collecting sales tax for services that shouldn't have been collected for sales tax. And my accountant said, "Why were you doing that?" So I said, "Well, my previous accountant told me." He goes, "That was totally wrong. So the best way."
I need proof of everything you just said.
Do accountants make a lot of mistakes?
Sometimes.
Generally?
It depends on who you work with.
Generally.
Sometimes.
I feel like it's a Dick Clark production going inside the courtroom.
I just asked you, did he commit an error? And you said, my new accountant says he did. So that's good. Okay, give me that. So now I need proof of what you just said. Something from your new accountant that talks about the error and how much it costs you. Give me that.
Yeah, that I don't have.
Okay. Do you have any idea what he's talking about?
No, but I'll tell you one thing. In New York State, cleaning services are taxable. I don't care what his accountant says. I found out from New York State that it was, because the first thing I do...
You can never ask New York State. Basically, if I do this, they want to tax me. And then if I do this
In
back,
New
they want to
York,
tax me again.
Let me tell you something. The only thing that you're taxed up until 9 months after you're dead. So, I mean, you know...
And then when you
get away
die,
with
they
nothing.
tax you again on all that money that was already taxed the first time because
that's right.
now
No, when I said
you
9
actually have
months
the
after you're
nerve to
dead.
want to give it to your children. Right, go
Well,
on.
anyway, I double-checked, okay? And I've been doing accounting for a long time, and I know the laws.
We're done. Stick a fork in me. I am done. $600, verdict for the plaintiff. Please pay the man.
All right, well, here come the defendant out here on the losing end of this. So you don't have him as your accountant anymore, but you have to pay the guy for his services.
Well, I just thought that his services got so bad that, it's like...
That you didn't have to pay for him.
Well, not they didn't have to pay. He didn't deserve that amount. That's basically...
That's your deal with the guy. So why didn't you just pay him and move on?
Well,
That's what we did.
That's what we're going to do now, move on.
Yeah, why didn't you do that before? It's the right
Because
thing to
I
do.
just had that mentality. Like I said, his services were so bad, and I didn't think he deserved that price that he asked for.
All right. Okay, head right around the corner. All right, so come on in here. So here's the accountant. He finally gets paid for his services. What's your reaction to this outcome? Step up a little bit.
I'm glad. I'm glad, of course, that I won. But I just want to say one thing. I used to come into New York, even though I'm out of state. I'm in New York about 8 to 10 times a year.
Great.
And many times I said to him, Gary, let me come over to your house and pick up the stuff from you. Oh, that's right, I'll mail it to you.
That's that last-minute complaint of his?
Yeah, so he would mail it to me, and by the time, and many
Great.
times...
Can he
was-
deduct his loss? Here in the courtroom? Can he, is this deduction?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, so accountants are licensed by the state. Call the licensing agency if you have a problem. Sometimes they can work it out short of going to court.
Don't text and drive.